Thank you and welcome to the RDG200, a communicative thermostat presentation. I am Sylvain Magnavaca, the product manager of this range. There is many topics to address with this product, and it might be a bit fast. So please ask questions. So let's start from the beginning. RDG200 is the name of the product. Is a replacement of our current RDG100 KN portfolio. You may have worked with those devices before. We have kept the same philosophy, meaning that we develop those products and we make those products mainly for commercial buildings, office, public space, education. We have made those devices a communicative device, and this is also why we are here. It's KNX device. And it covers most of our HVAC application that you will find on the field. So mainly fan coil, universal, and heat pump. Those new devices that you can now see on the screen have different features, and we have put them in 5 different elements. But one of the key for you guys today is that RDG200 is a compact thermostat, meaning that you have in one device the HMI, meaning the screen and the buttons, but also the inputs, physical outputs, the KNX, and the control, all the power built-in. You also have a few flexible power supply features I will show you later. And it is, as I said, a communicative device, but maybe a bit different than any other KNX device. This one is powered by 224 volt or 230 or 24 volt, but it can also work as a standalone. You don't need the KNX to make this device work. Of course, the commissioning, we will go a little bit in the details with our new smartphone app. And as you can see, maybe on the picture, we have worked quite well on quite a lot, at least on the design and the features related to the design. If I now zoom in on the device, you can see that the big screen, which is the upper part of the product, with some very clear and straightforward information. We have limited the number of information on the screen to make them more valuable. This is something that we have worked on with our customers and with the designers, with a user-friendly information. Then the lower part of the device is the touch area where you navigate. So we have 3 touch buttons, a rotary knob to change the set points and to go through the parameters, which is also capacitive, and then a green leaf button in the center, which is also capacitive, meaning that the device by itself is totally flat. Well, not totally. You have here a little help for the fingers, but it is really flat. There is no mechanical button, and it's very easy to clean. And I guess everyone is quite aware right now that it is important for a commercial product to be sanitized regularly, for example. I want to deep dive a little bit in this green leaf function already. We have here a button that can help the user to understand if his settings are energy efficient or not. So in a public space, we want to keep the settings quite flexible for the end user. And we can also tell the end user if his settings are good or not. And if they are not, it will turn red. The leaf will turn red. And the user can decide to keep them, say, okay, I really want this set point because I feel really warm, so I really need to have this set point. But if he thinks that it is not necessary, he can press the red button, and then the device goes back to the preset values, and the green leaf, or the leaf, turns back to green. So it's really a function to put back the user in the center of the energy efficiency. In order to fit most of the commercial application, those devices really need to have quite some flexibility. And we are now diving a little bit more into the function and the hardware function of those products, but this will show you a little bit how powerful it is. We have today 2 products, RDG200 and RDG260 KN, and they both have temperature and humidity built-in sensor. They have, of course, KNX, some inputs and some outputs. And the main difference between those two devices are the outputs logic. Sorry, I had a message there. Output logic. So the RDG200 has on-off and PWM output for the actuators, the valves especially, but RDG260 has a DC 0 to 10 volt power supply outputs for the actuators, so you can do more modulating. You can also see that the power selection is a little bit different. RDG200 can do 230 volt and 24 volt, while the RDG260 is AC or DC 24 volt. Both of those devices can control 3-speed fan or DC 0 to 10 volt fan. So now you don't have to choose so much, they can do both. Of course, they are KNX, and we offer the wall mount plate that really helps you to do the wiring on the wall, and then you just click the product into the plate and make the device works. If I now go a little bit more in the details with those applications, those RDG200 comes with a preset application, and you can cover most of the fine coils application, 2-pipe, 4-pipe, 2-pipe electric heater, even 4-pipe and electric heater, some heat pump, and some universal application, chill sealing combined with a radiator, or chill sealing with a 6-way valves. And really, if you combine all those applications with all the outputs that we just talked about and the fan outputs, you can have an idea of how many functions and how many applications you can cover. And this is really a must for commercial application, where there you can really see a lot of different applications in different countries. So for all of you guys connected all over Europe and maybe more, I think this device is flexible enough to cover your market. Having all this flexibility, we can now put this a little bit more in the vision of our customers and why we did this. So I took a few examples, and here it's a classroom. Why this device can fit a little bit more a classroom than another device. First of all, the design is slim and the screen is big, so that the user can of course read easily, but you can also tweak the design, what you can display. So on this example, I displayed the time of the day. So for the teacher, they can have this information. On KNX, you can also manage, for example, the holiday periods and the time of the school directly from KNX, and inform the thermostat via some objects. You can do, of course, all the HVAC control with the temperature and humidity. And for a classroom, this can be important. But also we have a few side features like locking the keys. So if you don't want the teacher or the kids to change the set points or to play too much with the thermostat, we can lock the keys. If we now go in the same kind of concept, but with an office, everything that I just mentioned can be also applied for an office, but we can add here the green leaf, for example. In an office, it makes even more sense to give some feedback to the user about the energy efficiency. And you can also in an office lock and put some more settings related to the set point limitation. You can decide to have a absolute value limitation, like I don't want to have my set point above 25 degrees, but I can also display the set point limitation with a relative set point. So the user doesn't know what is the set point, he just knows he can do plus 1, +2, or +3, or -1, -2, and -3 degrees. This allows the user to have a little bit of flexibility in an office, but not a full flexibility, because we still have to manage the energy, and also avoid some discussion between colleagues. Someone is cold, someone is hot. I had this in my previous office where everyone was hot and some people were cold, and you have a lot of fights. And this kind of product can avoid this. And last but not least, as an example, in a hotel where the user has about 10 seconds to understand how works a thermostat, and as sometimes a user guest, I don't really want to spend more time. We have developed this screen that allows the user to have on-off buttons, just to turn on and off the thermostat, or just reduce or increase the fan speed. Of course, you can display temperature in Fahrenheit and in Celsius, and you can also lock the buttons, lock the screen if you need. Don't forget that we can clean the screen very easily for the people who are doing the maintenance in the room. It's very fast. They don't need to spend a lot of time on the thermostat. So we have seen a thermostat that can, at least we believe so, can fit most of the applications, at least in the HVAC level, can fit a lot of the customer needs with a flexible HMI. And if we add all this flexibility, it is quite easy to make a product that is very hard to commission and very hard to set. So we have done quite a lot of effort to offer a fast way of do the commissioning and a flexible way to do commissioning. So to offer different options. Here I display three different levels, 3 steps for the commissioning or the settings. The first is on the RDG200 only. If you want to select the power supply, 24 volt or 230 volt, you have to select it first. And then the configuration of the device, we have 4 options. The new option that we want to talk about today, and I will talk a bit later in the slides, is our smartphone app PCT GO product commissioning tool that will allow you to do the setting of the thermostat via your smartphone. But we want to also to keep, because it's a KNX device, the KNX way of doing the settings. And you can do a whole building with sitting on the chair and doing this from the laptop. So this is also something that we want to keep. It is a complementary solution from ETS. And if for whatever reason you don't have ETS or the KNX is not ready on the plan, and you want to test the application or test the device, you can still use the dip switch in the back of the device, set the application, set the output, and the device is preset. You can just power it on and it will work. So this is really the flexibility that we want to offer there. If I jump a little bit more into the topic of the PCT GO, because this is something new for this product, it is an app that works on NFC. So it is really close commissioning. So you do this, when you download the app, you can either download the preset of a thermostat, existing thermostat. So you can read out the value of a thermostat. You can also start from a new setting, change the parameter, change the application, change the screen parameter, for example, and send the values and all the settings into the thermostat via approaching your smartphone on the thermostat. It's super fast. And then as soon as it is done, the thermostat is working, it's preset, and it's working. So you can also now copy these settings and download it to 10, 20, 100, 1,000 thermostat. If they're all set the same way, you can really do a commissioning in a very fast and efficient way. There is a feature that is quite interesting in NFC. It doesn't need power. So you can do this while the thermostat is still on the box. So imagine you have a small plan, you will receive RDG200 devices. You can set them from your warehouse or from your office, preset with the app. And when you go on your site, you can plug them on the mounting plate that you have wired properly, and then the device works. It can be useful if the KNX network is not running. It can be useful if you want to test the wiring. And this app is already available on our Google Store, and it comes for free. So it's on top of any other commissioning solution. We are now talking about the KNX thermostat. I think you are all aware about this in KNX organization webinar, and we can deep dive a little bit. Because we are Siemens and because sometimes we have a complex system organization, the device is compatible with several of them. Of course, it's a KNX pure S-mode device, so full KNX S-mode with the all the objects already available on Gamma TD, and if you download on your ETS online library, you can find it. but it's also compatible with some of our Siemens system. You can integrate those devices via KNX into our BMS building management system, the GO CC. I will show you this example just a little bit later. You can also integrate our device through KNX into our DesiGo system. So if you have a big plan and you have some primary controllers, some boilers, some air handling unit to manage, you can also link our thermostat to those systems. Last but not least, we also are compatible with our KNX Synco system and Synco IC. If you are more aware of those solutions, we are still compatible with them. But let's talk about KNX S-mode a little bit more. If I have drawn here this simple topology that we have been quite successful in some countries with. If you have, for example, a hotel and you want to do the room management, we can use our DesiGo CC building management system to link with the booking system. And you can do the managing in the room very easily by using KNX IP router. The secure one is better. And then you can directly link our thermostat into them. We are working into the seamless integration of those thermostat into the DesiGo CC with a preset imaging with a limited number of data points and with a very easy way to set. And this will allow you and the hotel manager to have a very small impact on the hardware level, because those solutions are quite cost effective compared to some more sophisticated and more higher end solution. And also a very nice and fancy booking system management. Last but not least, the KNX S-mode, what we have worked a little bit more on KNX in this device. I think the keyword that we used is the flexibility. We have added quite a lot of objects, and not just because we wanted to add, but because they were very useful for flexibility, and this is a bit of the keyword in KNX S-mode. So as an example, the built-in sensors and all the built-in sensors that we will have in those RDG200, they are available to read. So you can read the value. You can use it for anything you want, just display it or control it. But you can also write a value from another sensor. If you have another value from another thermostat, you can write it through an object. We can also lock and unlock the buttons with objects, one bit objects, all of them. In general, what we have started to do and what we have been successful so far is to change, to give the option of having 1 bit and 1 byte object for most of our options. So you can change the mode, so from comfort to echo or protection with 1 bit or 1 byte. The fan speed is also available with 1 bit or 1 byte. You can also set the value straight away in 0 to 100%. But you can also read out with 1 bit or 1 byte and read out with a 0 to 100%. It's a bit the same with the valves. The thermostat has some physical outputs. So you can use those values on KNX either to monitor what is going on the output side, but you can also use those objects to control a KNX actuator. And here we have also added the possibility to have 1 bit or 1 byte objects for all of the outputs, but also combine. If you have one actuator who needs to have both of the signal, we have an object who combine them already, and also in 1 bit and 1 byte. A few alarms that we add on KNX S-mode. I think it's only on KNX S-mode that we add those objects. Frost alarm, heat alarm, dew point alarm that you can also select the value. And the green leaf that we talked earlier, you can also tweak it. So you can decide to enable or disable it. Of course, if, for example, it's a hotel, some guests will not be very happy with the green or red color. They don't want to see it. You can disable it. But you can also read the current status. If it's green or red, you maybe want to know or monitor it. And you can also reset the value. So at the end of the day, you can make sure that all the thermostat in the whole buildings are all reset to a green level of energy efficiency. this is possible through S-mode. I go through my last slide. RDG200KN and RDG260KNs are the two new ASN that we are releasing right now, but this is the first step. We will add, and we are already working on some new features that will come early next year. And we will also add some new devices with more built-in sensor, some CO2 sensors, some presence detection sensor, and some more features. So VAV, for example, it's quite common in some of the countries. We will add some more HVAC in the near future. Keep an eye on it. If you are interested, you can check the website, www.siemens.com/RDG200. And you can, of course, send me an email. This is my name. I'm sorry, it's not very short. You can drop me an email, but if you are also close to your sales organization, Siemens sales organization, they are aware of it. We have launched the product. You can ask them questions. Thank you very much, and bye-bye.